This talk, What Depletes Prana, is given by His Holiness Sri Sri Ravi Shankar.
Sadness is nothing but prana burning down. Like pain is when the body, there is some burn down, tiredness, you see. Then you say, oh, I got burned down, I'm so tired, but exhausted. In the same way, when the prana in you, life force in you, gets burned down, overloaded, that is sorrow, that is sadness. It is nothing to do with any events. In a same situation, one person may feel sad, another person may not feel sad. Do you see what I am saying? Why it's so? It's because one's prana is burned down, low in prana. So small thing can upset them, make them unhappy. Another level of prana is high. They can sustain, smile through whatever it comes. See, we spend prana in many things in our daily activity. We are constantly spending a lot of prana. Too much seeing, if you are watching long time video, television for 4, 5 hours, 3 hours movie, you spend a lot of prana in it. Do you notice it after watching a movie for 3.5 hours, you feel so run down or tired? Have you experienced that? If you are sensitive enough, you spend a lot of prana in watching television. Or if you are constantly listening to music for 6 hours, 5, 6, 7 hours, any music, you spend a lot of prana. If you overeat, eat a lot of food, then you spend a lot of prana. If you oversleep, then you spend a lot of prana. Sleep, you spend quite a bit of prana. And in sex, of course. Sex also, lot of prana is spent in sex. And if you go on spending without replenishing it, without recuperating in your body, then depression dawns in you, tastelessness dawns in you, dullness overtakes you. All these signs which are anti-life takes over one. See what I am saying? And the beauty gets drained out. Then no beauty remains in you. See what I am saying? Overindulgence in anything reduces the beauty or demolishes. Beauty dawns only on the middle line, on the golden line. Someone who never eats, doesn't eat at all, fasts, do too many austerities, they also lose their beauty. Because what comes out of too much austerity is a big ego. You see people who fasted along, there is no glow in them. And see people who eat a lot, even in them you don't find a glow. You see what I am saying? And one who does not sleep at all, even in them you don't find the glow. Otherwise all the insomnia people must be feeling so great. It doesn't happen that way. And see those who oversleep, sleep all the time, kind of dullness dawns on them. They lose all the beauty, all the charm. Look at the people who overindulge in sex, who are always in pornography and all this sort of stuff. See their face, completely like a desert. There is no beauty there. And see those who suppress sex, you can see sort of fear in them, unhealthiness in them too. When the life energy moves up through all these points and goes up and transcends all that, the blissful joy dawns in you, wherein the innocence and the divine grace, the beauty dances together, merges together, becomes one. This whole body can be reduced to a handful of ashes. See how much time we have spent in this body. It's a smriti, remembrance. See what all you have eaten. How much food grain have gone through this hole called mouth? Do you know how much you consume per day? 1 kilo? 1 kilo of grain, you pour it down through this hole called mouth. It's a bottomless bucket. How much? In a whole year, 365 kilograms. So what, 3 tons? 3.6 ton. And see if you are 40, 50 years old, how many tons? 40 times at about 100 tons of food grain have gone through this mouth. It's bigger than any big ship. A ship cannot contain that much. And your mouth, this small hole called mouth, can swallow tons and tons of grain. You should see life in various different angles. It's very interesting. What is this body? After all, a piece of flesh. Whole body is just a piece of flesh. Bones and flesh. And you see in another direction, 70% of this body is fluid. Just fluids, liquids. It's like a sachet with some juice or water, whatever it is. Sachet of blood. Just make a hole anywhere, pin, blood will come out. It's just like a plastic sachet, what do you call it? Sack. Whatever that is. And you just put a pin there, make a hole, small hole, what happens? Get drained, all the blood comes out. And that's it, the packet will go like this. This body is just fluids. Different type of fluids through different holes in the body. Some type of fluid in the mouth, some in the nose, some in the eyes, some elsewhere. The whole body is fluids. And then what do you see? Some bones inside, floating in the water, in that fluid. And some jellyfish-like things around them. Even that you examine, you see through, they all have holes, big holes. All the bones are hollow and empty. The skin, if you examine just one small piece of skin under a microscope, you will be terrified. It will look like a mosquito net. And the whole body is like a mosquito net, completely hollow and empty, hollow. Even blood cells, you just look one drop of blood under the mirror. They are galaxies apart, so far away between them, so much space, so much space. See, 95% of this body is only space and space and space. And what is in this space? That is mind. That is consciousness. That is intelligence. Like a honeycomb, honeycomb is there, but it's all filled with honey. Like this in this body, all the holes in the body are filled with mind or consciousness. And the nature of that is joy, is love. Any questions? You're all in silence, right?
If I can break silence. You answered a question or talked a little bit this afternoon about someone asking, about praying to a inanimate object like the river or the mountain. And that sprung a question to me of if a culture is acclimated to doing that, such as the American Indian, would then the mountain answer their prayer? I mean, if someone prays to the Ganges, does God sort of personify himself in that and then answer the prayer?
You think there are two people existing in this world. You think there are two lives. In fact, it is wrong. There is only one life and one self, one soul, one which is pure. If one's faith in a mountain or river is so strong, so unshakable and so true, and that very prayer is so authentic, and it will definitely help. But even if there is the slightest doubt or slightest distrust, mistrust there, it won't be effective. See, it's like you can talk to trees, You can communicate with them. But it's harder than talking to somebody who can talk your language. Right? Isn't it? You can talk to a dog also. Dog also to some extent. Leave God somewhere. Let's talk about dog. You tell your dog something, most of the time it understands. Right? But it doesn't so well understand like communicating with a human being. For a human being, you can tell him, okay, you can sit or come or lock the door or be here, don't go anywhere. They understand. You can tell dog, it may listen to you, but your communication is not 100%. Do you see that? For in creation, you have to learn the language of the creation. Right? If you have to pray to the nature, you have to learn the language of nature. But if you have to pray to God, God can know your language, can know your mind. But anyway, it does not matter, it's only secondary. First thing is you being prayerful. When you are prayerful, that very state in you, in your mind itself is good enough to bring the transformation.
this misery in the world. How can one find this beautiful? How does one try to find it? How does one try to accept it?
Suppose imagine a world without any poverty, any problem, any theft, any misery. One such world does not exist, but just imagine. Suppose there are no sick people at all, then there are no hospitals and no doctors. Okay? No thefts at all, no thieves at all, no police department, no jails, no courts and no justice department. Finished? No Red Cross society. No helping, what is that? Helping hand or what? Helpage. Helping hand. All the charities will have to be shut down. There are no misery at all. Can there be any charity in the world? So all the charity shut down means what? All compassion also gone. On whom will you be compassionate? You will be compassionate on somebody who is very happy? All your service, your compassion, and all the values that you cherish, or the values of heart which you think as humanitarian, the word humanitarian will disappear. What is humanitarian then? Do you see that? Human qualities, all the human, beautiful, wonderful qualities in you are to blossom through these things. They are like the manure. See, manure is so foul smelling, and the manure makes rose so beautiful, fragrant rose. So divine has put all this misery, poverty and distress in the world so that you can become sensitive, open your eyes and open your heart and be loving and friendly and serving to people around you. They are all like manure for you to blossom in human values. You see what I'm saying? It's not saying, oh, it is their karma, it is their problem, they are suffering. No, it may be their karma, but it is your dharma. It's your duty to do that, do the service to them. You see? There is perfection in nature. You only have to look through a different eye.
You've been talking about beauty, and usually talking about God, we have very beautiful images of God, but also there seems to be, for example, Kali. Kali's very sort of horrific. Is it just a different kind of beauty, or?
You know, these days in the past 4-5 years, have you seen the toys that the kids have? Or the advertisements in the television? Or some, what do you call it, commercials in the televisions? That somebody with a horn in their head and Onida TV, what is that? Huh? Monsters and Onida, what is that? Huh?
Nintendo?
Nintendo, all this. All this. And this Superman and all these things and these toys, you look at them. These are very recent developments. Within last 10 years these have come. It's horrifying. But children love them, don't they? Huh? Not only American children, it has gone all over the world now. You go to Singapore or even in India, the concept of beauty changes from time to time. Several years ago, cactus was never considered to be very beautiful. Thorny, those things people would just throw them away. But somebody started ikebana and then started all these cactus and thorn arrangements. It suddenly people started appreciate that's beautiful there. Only flowers were considered to be beautiful. In the previous century, thorn means horrible. Even in the beginning of this century, nobody liked thorns. But now thorn has been appreciated a great deal, and people pay thousands of dollars to bring these thorny plants and keep in their homes. Sometimes children touch them and then their whole hands and faces and everywhere rashes. You will see in the drawing room of many people's homes, there are thorns, decorative thorns. This was unbelievable a century ago. Right? So same thing with the present day. See, today the toys of the children are very ugly and to those of the previous generation, but children love them. Kali is a horrifying figure, but there is a meaning behind that. Why Kali worship was predominant? Why it was asked to be said to be a god, goddess, and why one should worship it? When fear takes over, it's about ugliness, what ugly are. Skulls, all these things causes fear, danger. But if you could love a figure which is so horrifying, then fear drops away from your life. What else can you be afraid of? So Kali, then the tongue sticking out and eyes bubbling out, and so horrifying, some can get terrified, but if one can appreciate that, then the person becomes very brave. They worship that, they start loving that. Even lion-headed god in India is worshipped. And this is worshipped especially in the area where people are more scared. People who are not very bold, those areas they keep their names Narasimhan and all that. Especially in the central part of India or southern part of India. Lion-headed god. Lion-head means what? And your consciousness is filled with that particular vibrations or feeling of strength, of lion or of bravery. You see? So Kali means dark, the black. Black is beautiful. Very beautiful. Black is the giver of light. Darkness is giver of light. See, the black spot in the eye is responsible for you to see the light. If in your eyes this dark spot is missing, you cannot see the light. So through darkness you see light. Isn't this strange? It is through darkness, darkest spot in your eye, you are able to perceive light. So it said Kali, through Kali, great knowledge, intensification of tamas, you see the light of knowledge. Kali is giver of knowledge, of wisdom. You will see in Kali's picture, hands are cut off and all the hands hanging around the waist. That means what? No doership, all doership has dropped. And heads are cut off. Kali is holding the head, skulls in the head, and skulls all hanging around her neck. What does it mean? The head is cut off, there is no head, all is from heart. Head is responsible for all fights, arguments, judgments, and The head is cut off. It's hanging. It's not thrown away, it's cut off, but it's still there somewhere. Means there is knowledge, but it is not linked with the heart. Heart is pure. Love is flowing uninterruptedly. So there is a deeper meaning in these symbols. If you just see the Kali picture and go into the every detail that is in it, it's so amazing that how symbolically this has been thought thousands of years ago. Because language changes. Language can be interpreted, reinterpreted. But figure remains the same. Pictorial is our basic knowledge. See, a child first learns things pictorially. You see that? Even to teach ABCD, the A will be small somewhere, but the apple will be there. All the big. Children, they learn through visual figures, and that is more close to our consciousness than words. So in ancient days, they had an insight into this. So they made Kali worship. And Kali worshiping one becomes so brave, nothing, there is no fear in life, all fear gets eliminated. See that? If there is nothing that you see is ugly in life, then everything becomes beautiful. If anything is ugly, that whatever is ugly always will make you ugly. Because you feel this is ugly and inside you it stiffens you somewhere. You see that? Shiva Shiva Shankara.